Hello, everyone. This is Crypto Andy checking in on Thursday, 5/25. So there's very timely article on Bitcoin's price action, which I loved covering. Bitcoin losing its 200-week trend line puts 2K in play. So from where it is right now all the way down to 2K, let's briefly look. It's at 26,451 right now. Let's dive into the article. BTC's price action suggests key 200-week moving average. So let's briefly look at that. All right, let's change it to week. Okay, 200 week, and then let's do this one. Key 200. Data from Coin Telegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed BTC acting in its range from the day prior. And see that line, the 200-day line, right? That's pretty much, this is the 200-day moving average, or the 200-day moving average, but as in weeks. Each bar is a week, right? So yeah, it's pretty much right where he's saying, like, if it falls from this support, that's a major support drop, and there's other ones here at 24/7, but it is a major drop. And if we see the larger picture, it's been going down since the peak, right? Since November peak 2021, it's been going down. So this is would be a continuation of that pattern. Little excitement presents on spot markets. Traders and analysts looked for potential volatility catalyst. So they're saying what could turn it around, right? The United States, which included gross domestic estimates, Q2, and jobless claim, failed to shake up the status quo. Bears failing to push price lower as we retest support area from below. So it is testing the support area. He's very correct about that. And then at 24,500 about, there's more support. But it's never good to test support, right? It won't easily fall below it, but it's not great. All eyes on daily close still. Bitcoin needs to hold 26,300 in order for the daily bullish div to lock in. Ideal scenario, reclaim 26.6 and back into previous range. So let's see what else. Preps liquidity, grab now and test 26K point spot. There's your unusual Binance liquidity emerging, pump and rug. He reacted. So that's not good. This guy subsequently explained, rising thanks to limit buys, orders being filled, and order book liquidity improving. So he's saying the liquidity is improving. Let's take a look at that. Can we zoom in on this guy? This is the order book, buys and sells. When you're on Binance and when you're on Kraken, you can see the order book, and you don't get to see that. So this is the volume bars, and he's saying that there's volume is improving on Binance, the biggest exchange. Bearish outcome slowly but surely coming true. On a weekly time frame, meanwhile, traders and analysts, Rec Capital, highlighted the significance of current spot price levels. Just above 26,000, he noticed, lies the 200-week moving average, and a breakdown to flip it back to resistance would spell long-term difficulties. So if it went below and then had to come up from this, it would be very difficult, is what he's saying, right? The one that I like the most is this, the head and shoulders pattern. So far, BTC has broken from the head and shoulders. BTC also recently flipped the neckline on this pattern into new resistance, red box. He commented, slowly but surely this bearish pattern is validating itself, which could spell deeper downside for the 20,000s. So head, shoulders, the neckline, But you see, like the shoulder, he's saying that it didn't go straight down like this one went straight up. That's normally what it is, but it plays out in a similar like this shoulder is higher, right, and then this one is higher, but it's still doing that. It's still, see, like this would have been the perfect head and shoulders, but it came back up a little bit. And I'll show you how that is playing out. We're still on the weekly. Let's get rid of that. So I'm seeing it, and it looks like a perfect head and shoulders. Like what is he? Is he looking at? He's looking at the daily, right? I'm looking at the weekly. If you look at the weekly, it looks like a head and shoulders. And if you look at the daily, it's broken down the way that he's saying. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Then see, maybe it's at this point. Maybe it's at this point where it's like. Right. So you gotta think it's like data. It's never perfect, but it's, if you smooth out the information, it kind of does look like it's going down. It's not a perfect head and shoulders though, and that's normal on the daily time frame, right? But if you look on the weekly time frame, it looks really good, which is, you don't want it to look good. You want it to look bad. Right, so this is on the weekly time frame. It looks like a perfect head and shoulders. It looks head, shoulder. And it's gonna come down and probably do this, right? And then down she goes. Presumably, it says testing 20K. All right, so he's saying it's testing right around here, right? 20K would be exactly here, right? That would be 20K. So definitely on the weekly time frame, that looks likely. The way you use this information, charting patterns are confirmation for other volatility indexes, right? So let me get out of this. We have the RSI. This is the weekly view, and the weekly view is a very good view. Whoops. On the RSI, we were oversold at over 70. Briefly popped over 70. That means oversold on the RSI, right? And now it's correcting down. So it's you can see the head and shoulders here on the RSI too. Looks same. On the MACD, we have the MACD line in blue is turning. Looks like it's going to go under the signal line, which means that the price action will go down, right? So we have a lot of indicators kind of turning over, and we have the price, the charting pattern could possibly confirm that. So those are all signals that it's going down, and we have multiple. We have RSI, MACD, and the charting pattern. So that would be maybe a good short position to be in right now. But beyond Bitcoin, what I want you guys to take a look at is the NASDAQ, the NDX, the NASDAQ. And so the NASDAQ is like Microsoft, Apple, all the technologies, Facebook, there's Meta, all the technology companies. And look at how this is an oversold range, right? The RSI is on these. So these haven't quite turned over, but if tech turns over, then everything else could, and there's major resistance at this point, right? It's at a resistance point right now, right? It's at a major resistance point. So if it continues upwards, it could be bullish for the tech sector. But it's an oversold range. I mean, but it was an oversold range here, and this was at 0% interest rates, right? Companies were loading up on debt, and look at the year since let's just call it the end of November 2021 to now. It's been negative. It's been going down, and it briefly broke up. It made a higher high, right? From here it broke up. But maybe this is consolidation. This is just a consolidation for for the next leg down, possibly. So all eyes on the NASDAQ, all eyes on Bitcoin. The two markets are very related. Bitcoin is traded as a risk asset. And I would not buy Bitcoin. I would sell Bitcoin right now. If you had gotten it before, it's a good time to buy. All the signals are going to the downside. If you want to be a contrarian, you would go... I don't know if anyone is saying that the Bitcoin will turn over. This article, even itself, what is this article? Bitcoin losing 200-week trend line puts 2K at risk. So okay, so this article is sort of suggesting it, but then the first kind of thing about it is that it could go up, and that the macro data, like the NDX, like the Chinese reopening, which was weak. There's not like a good macro signal to push this all the way up, right? There's no fundamental reason for it to go up right now. There's only negative reasons. So to me, it's clearly most likely going to go down. I don't see it might correct down. It could be the wave of the first big move down. Right? If you listen to guys like Harry Dent, demographics analyst, fundamental analyst, he is also calling for it to go down. Only thing maybe would be, I don't know what could push the economy back up, like macro-wise. It's just the whole globe is doing badly. There's a lot of debt in the system. There's just no good reason for it to go up. Doesn't mean it can't go up. Like logically, it could go up. Maybe. But all the signals point down. Most likely the market will go down. Things are in oversold range, but they could stay in oversold range for a while, right? They could maybe test this NDX could test 15,000. It's almost at 14,000. It could test 15, but it has a lot of resistance at that point, right? And it's oversold already. So how much higher could it possibly go? At this point in trading, if you have bought it, you ask yourself, how much higher could this go? And is the risk of it going up, to 15,000 worth, a possible downturn? The answer is no. You would lock in profits now, and you'd maybe keep a little bit, maybe like 20%. But this is like a really good oversold, pretty much, point. It doesn't always get to 70. It gets to 60, and people sell it, right? So it is oversold. Maybe the election will cause it next year to rebound faster than normal. Election cycles have higher than average. I think it was listening to one guy talk. He's for 40 years worth of data. It's been higher than average to the upside. The stock market has been during an election year, but this year is not an election year. That's next year. So this year could be the year of correction, and maybe it starts to pick up next year. But most likely it'll go down. Not a fun thing to say, but you could short, you can make money that way, or you could just sell if you had got in at a good price. Let me know what you guys think. What are you going to do? What are you going to sell? Crypto ID, signing out.